Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is a request from Brigadier Darman, who wanted an amphibious Xeon mobile suit in the colors of the Autobot Seaspray, which I've done here. Might have made the blue a little darker, but I think it turned out pretty well. Another one where I couldn't find anything where the colors map perfectly, but I think the Zulu does pretty well. It has the Gear Zulu's beam machine gun, with grenade launcher, and it also has a pair of heat knives and a set of claws for its melee weapons. When either melee weapon is out, it gets a small speed buff and I believe a small defense buff. I think it's harder to stun. So yeah, it's frequently worth traveling with the weapons out, but that kind of clashes with my usual pattern with a charging beam rifle of keeping a charge as I go. But, whatever the situation calls for, you'll see me, fumfering with weapons a little bit as I go, because I am just not used to the Zulu. This is maybe like the second or third round I've played with it, and it's not bad at all. I mean, obviously, whenever I tried to play support, I've wound up butchered by one half of the time, so it's obviously not that bad, but just, yeah, it's taking some adapting. Managed to get that Yuma Lightning Gelgug with the knives, and somebody else got the kill, and that's fine. This was another ace match day. I complain about the teams I end up with on ace matches sometimes, but I got like a whole string of requests that wound up being ace matches this last week, so I'm rolling with it. And also just, it was weird. I'm recording this the evening of December 19th / morning of December 20th. And I just got a whole string of good teams this evening. I really did. I've people who were protecting their supports, who were focusing fire, who were staying together. Could not really ask for better, especially with no mic communication. Just random players going into rated, probably because you have to go into rated to finish all of those missions. Luckily, you don't have to go into rated to get the Hyakushiki mass production type level 2. That's just 30 rounds of any kind and you're good. But if you want to get everything, you do have to go into rated and you do have to go into space. But that is your call. I don't blame some people for avoiding rated. It is a very tense environment sometimes. The only solution to that is to play at very selective times with people you trust, or choose not to care. One or both of those will make rated easier on you. Will not make it easy. You're dealing with the people who do care, but it's the best. To be honest, it's the best defense mechanism you have in situations like that. So, but that's probably being a little bit overly dramatic about it, but just not putting too much stock into your rating and just, going in and trying to do your best is going to get you better rounds than going in and being very intense about it, in my opinion. Also, just as I've said before, I have lost more rounds to the kind of people who complain about team comp and then expect to lose because it doesn't suit their preferences than I have by, weirdly composed teams. So just, yeah, it's all mindset. And if you can get like players who send heck yeah when they see a weird team with like 3 raids, 2 supports, and a general, you'll probably do just fine. If you get people who throw a hissy when there's a second raid, or if there's a second support, you're going to have a hard time no matter what the enemy team is. You could have 2 supports and the entire team is like generals with low ballistic defense or something, and you'll still have a hard time of it. Right now, this team, I think we're a little bit disorganized, but I'm actively trying to get at the support when I can, and realizing at some point in the round that I'm vastly overextending myself by doing so, because the enemy team is looking after their support pretty well, I think. Enemy support is an Ars Jarja, I believe. And for one thing, I don't quite know. I know it's sniper type, but I don't know much else about it because I haven't gotten one yet. Hope that comes up in tickets soon because I'd love to get it. But, oops, yeah, just barely got that Zusa because the knife pass through its chest, which was a little bit thicker than its legs. Everything else was going directly over it. And that was not enough to make me the ace, thankfully, so now my goal is to go back and get with the ace. I almost killed that, and then I realized, oh yeah, Rob, that's not the kind of round you're in. Go support the ace, and you'll probably be okay. So right now, yeah, just very bad grouping in terms of where the ace is. Trying not to take kills, but also want to keep people off of them. So, you know, and yeah, I took one because just too much fire focused on the ace. And there is, you know, got to do something. And right now, the Zissa is the ace, so I can do quite a bit if I get my claws on them, which I did. It occurs to me that in addition to looking like Seaspray, the Zulu also kind of looks like 1970s Wolverine, so that was, you know, that was not intended, but also suitable. Just the luck of the draw. Let's see. But yeah, again, now I'm just trying to deal with supports. I forgot there were two previously. But yeah, since the ace is out and supports are, you know, a major thorn in the side of a general ace, I was just trying to do what I could. Now I've got a Zissa here, using my improved defense with claws out to get up to it. And yeah, I was not intending to spawn camp the ace, it just sort of happened because I was stalking the supports, as you do. And now I'm just waiting, and okay, ace read me like a book. Forgot the Zissa's counter was that neat, but it is. Now the enemy team is focusing me, which they should. You know, they should get me out of here regardless of whether the ace gets the kill or not, because, you know, if the ace dies, they're going to lose more points and lose the opportunity to get more. So yeah, got that. Probably going to at least weaken the Jarja if I can get my hands on it again. But it occurred to me, like, halfway through chasing whatever was over there, I need to be where the ace is a little bit more, or at least try to do some damage to the things the ace is up against, because their, you know, allied team seems to be a little bit spread out, a little bit supporting from the rear in the case of the GPO-4, I think, which makes sense. It's a support. They do that. But yeah, now I have, you know, I'm just trying to keep the ace alive, and I'm not going to be able to do it, so. And now we're within 5,000 points of them, so, you know, that's, even with 23 seconds left in a high-cost ace match, that is still losable. That's like 3 kills, of which I am probably about to be one. Yes. So we're up to 17,480. That's not bad, but yeah, like I said, we could still lose this. I think we just barely scraped by, but yeah, it is still losable from a position like this if their ace just manages to pick off everybody. Luckily, they didn't quite manage that, so we pulled it off. I did not do as good a job of supporting the ace as I did, but I did a pretty good job of destroying the enemy ace as quickly as possible most of the time. Got a couple other things as well. Like, not, to be honest, it's not the best thing to outscore the ace in an ace round. Just, I feel like that doesn't always work out, but 94,000 damage, 4 kills, 4 deaths, and I got top score, so could definitely be worse. I hope you enjoyed it, Darman, and that is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We'll be back soon with more. Until next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later. Yeah, it's really kind of hard to figure out who, you know, which amphibious mobile suit would be Seaspray. Seaspray is a chunky little guy in most of his animation models, and there's plenty of Xeon amphibious suits that fit that bill, but also he does not have a very large head, which most of the Xeon amphibious stuff does. You know, the alternative being the Zagox or the Hygog, which basically have no head. So in terms of his overall build, I feel like the Zulu and the Marine Zaku were the two closest things I could get, and the Zaku Marine type, I should say, because the Marine Zaku, I believe, is a separate thing. And the Zaku Marine type, just the colors didn't map as well as they did here. So that's how I wound up where I wound up.